Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now Anthony Joshua has mocked Tyson Fury's dress sense. Obviously Tyson Fury is known for those wacky kind of suits that have pictures of him winning world titles and pictures of legends on them. And some of them are a bit wacky, some of them are alright, but ultimately Anthony Joshua has explained that maybe he needs to head over to Boss and get a tailor, get some proper suits. Now, I'm not looking at the fact that Anthony Joshua has said this about Tyson Fury's dress sense. I'm looking at the fact that Anthony Joshua has said a lot about Tyson Fury quite recently, about his fighting style, about Tyson Fury being 5 or 6 years ahead of him in the pro game. Anthony Joshua believes he's achieved a lot considering where he is in his career compared to Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua has certainly achieved a lot considering he's only been a professional for 7 years. So Anthony Joshua has achieved a lot considering where he's at. And so has Tyson Fury, 12 years as a professional, turning pro in 2008, and he's won everything. He's won every belt in the heavyweight division. Not at the same time, obviously, but I mean, there are still a few things that he needs to do, unify all of them together as undisputed, and defend a world title. So there's still something for Tyson Fury to do and achieve in the sport of boxing. But what I'm looking at underneath all of this is Anthony Joshua is talking more so about Tyson Fury than any of his other rivals, and that's different. We've never seen Anthony Joshua really go after someone like this. Now obviously it's nothing disrespectful towards Tyson Fury, it's just his opinion, and obviously he's being asked more about Tyson Fury than anyone else. Even Kubrat Pulev, the guy he's fighting next, he gets more questions about Tyson Fury. Probably Tyson Fury the same, but ultimately Anthony Joshua, maybe, I believe, is starting to get a head start with the mind games. He knows that is going to happen when he fights Tyson Fury. The press conferences, the build-up, even after the fight, because they are going to have two fights. I mean, look how Tyson Fury unsettled Vladimir Klitschko. Look how he unsettled Deontay Wilder. Even David Haye when they were supposed to be fighting. So Tyson Fury is a master at that. So maybe Anthony Joshua is looking to get a head start on these mind games. Now, what Tyson Fury does is he makes a point, which it may sound completely ridiculous, but it's almost factually correct. Like when he was going over to Saudi Arabia for the WWE, he said that he was doing it first and Anthony Joshua was then coming second and copying him. Even though Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr. 2 was announced way before Tyson Fury was even going over to Saudi Arabia, but it's factually correct. Tyson Fury went there first before Anthony Joshua, but then said he was the one who done it first and Anthony Joshua was copying him, even though AJ had signed to fight Andy Ruiz in Saudi Arabia way before Tyson Fury was even going. So you can see it's factually correct that Tyson Fury was there first, but still, it kind of doesn't make much sense because Anthony Joshua had already announced that he was going there before Tyson Fury. So he says these things to get into the heads of his opponents. Obviously, at that point, an Anthony Joshua fight was way off for Tyson Fury, but still, that is what Tyson Fury does. He makes these points that are kind of factually correct, but also in some way make no sense. But Tyson Fury uses that to get into the head of his opponent, because then they're scrambling around saying, hang on a minute, I announced first, so how can I be copying you? Then Tyson Fury is in the head of his opponent. Tyson Fury has said what he has said and moved on. He no longer cares about it, leaving his opponent or potential rival reeling about it, thinking, hang on, what is this guy on? So Tyson Fury is very clever, in fact gifted with mind games. He completely unsettled Vladimir Klitschko, doing the same thing by telling him little facts that make sense but also kind of don't make sense at the same time. Same with David Haye. One thing he said to David Haye that really got to him was that fight with Carl Thompson, where Tyson Fury explained to David Haye that you jacked the fight against Carl Thompson, and Tyson Fury explained that he had never jacked a fight, but David Haye had done, and if he do it once, he'll do it again. And ultimately, that really got to David Haye. Same with Vladimir Klitschko. Age is a big factor. Tyson Fury explained he was the younger man. Vladimir Klitschko was the older man. The older man could not keep up with the younger man. And as soon as Vladimir Klitschko took the bait by saying to Tyson Fury, you don't have a clue what you are talking about, that is when Tyson Fury knew that he had Vladimir Klitschko, making factually correct points, even though Vladimir Klitschko was still at that point as good as he ever was. I mean, in his previous performances leading up to that Tyson Fury fight, nothing really told us that he was over the hill, that his age was catching up to him, but still Tyson Fury made the points, and that got into the head of Vladimir Klitschko. Same with David Haye. He did not quit against Carl Thompson. He did not necessarily jack the fight, but ultimately he was stopped, and he had the wrong game plan. He went in there to blow away an extremely durable fighter who often comes on strong later into fights. And you can guarantee when Anthony Joshua is going to be fighting Tyson Fury will find one thing that makes Anthony Joshua bite, and he will try and play on that. So maybe Anthony Joshua is looking to get a head start on those mind games. As I said before, Anthony Joshua is often asked about Tyson Fury, so he has to give an answer, and ultimately he's speaking the truth, what he believes anyway, that Tyson Fury is a talented fighter, but awkward and not really that intimidating to Anthony Joshua. Also, Anthony Joshua believes he's way ahead of Tyson Fury, and Fury should be, 5 or 6 years ahead of Anthony Joshua, considering Anthony Joshua turned pro in 2013 and Tyson Fury turned pro in 2008. So ultimately Anthony Joshua believes he's ahead of his time. So he's just stating facts that he believes are true. But isn't that similar to Tyson Fury? Isn't that what Tyson Fury does? States facts that are true, but ultimately get into the head of his opponents, because Anthony Joshua is going to be fighting Tyson Fury down the line. We hope anyway, in an undisputed fight. Obviously it's Kubrat Pulev first for Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder first for Tyson Fury, then maybe a Usyk fight for AJ, but still, they hopefully are on a collision course, both of them. So Anthony Joshua wants to get into the head of Tyson Fury before they even get to that point. The only thing is though, Tyson Fury is not necessarily answering back to Anthony Joshua, not at the moment anyway. But my guess is Anthony Joshua will say these things, talk about Tyson Fury, answer the questions honestly, what he believes, but then as soon as Tyson Fury starts talking, Anthony Joshua will not react to what Tyson Fury is saying, because that is the way the mind games work. You set it up with what Anthony Joshua is doing now, obviously talking about Tyson Fury, his dress sense, his fighting style, how long he has been a pro and what he has achieved in that time compared to Anthony Joshua himself. Then just let his opponent stew on that. So I believe that when Tyson Fury does come back, Anthony Joshua will not be ready to react to it or answer to it, because Anthony Joshua will be focused on Kubrat Pulev. So maybe Anthony Joshua is maybe trying to get a head start, maybe trying to gauge Tyson Fury at this point. Or maybe it is just the questions Anthony Joshua is being asked by interviewers about Tyson Fury. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.